We are a very proactive agency. We focus each and every day on community outreach, community information. Our response is a big part of what we do, but we're not responding to disasters every day, thankfully. So our priority has to be community outreach. With our tornado sirens and our protocols and our partnerships to open, um, shelters, and we work with our local grocery store here to make sure that we're we're able to open up emergency situations for certain food. All of that was in place, so I am very thankful of the community that we live in and all the partners that support us. But we were very, very well prepared in this situation. You don't always see someone canceling their normal programming or whatever. At about 7 p.m. that night, everyone started pushing out pretty consistent information about what is coming down the pipeline and what's headed towards our county. So that's a big deal when you flip to the channel and it's all about this tornado in our area on every channel. And same thing about social media when it's just full of reports of what's headed our way. And then the line shifted. So we were constantly going back and forth here in our Emergency Operations Center war room about do we relocate? Do we need to relocate some resources anywhere? We need to transition to Plan B if it comes to this area. So as it kind of shifted more towards the city limits to a rural area, we've been kind of tailor our plan towards focusing on that rural area.
Wonderful.
And then we were able to get our weather spotters and different things out to that area. So it was a constant evaluation and listening to all the emergency communications from the different states. But we were able to kind of tailor our services and constantly reevaluate and figure out what our best approach was going to be. Kind of, we had to wait and see what was going to happen here, but we were ready to go. But we had to wait. So it's kind of, we're very proactive here. It's one of those things that you can't plan. I mean, we plan for, but we have to wait till it happens to focus on those areas of concern. So we were kind of chomping at the bit to get started and being after dark was another burden. We were ready to get to those affected areas, but we had to wait to see what those affected areas were. And as soon as it hit Casey and we started hearing those emergency radio traffics, the war room got really, really quiet, kind of just waiting to see where our first calls were going to be. But we were sitting here with a bunch of our directors when the phone lines went down, when internet started going down. But being in a small community, everyone has your cell phone number. So at one time I looked at the judge, his phone was ringing, mine was ringing, all my deputy directors were ringing, and it was the same family trying to reach out for help. Their house was demolished. Their family that was on the phone with us was trying to get to that area. We had some people that got up from the table to go assist. The roads were closed at that time because it was literally, few seconds right after the storm when all these phone calls started happening. They couldn't get into 911. So we had ambulances trying to approach from every direction. But honestly, what it took was family members and the staff of Emergency Management, Hickman County Fire and Rescue to go off-road in different fields to get this gentleman the care that he needed. And finally, when you listen to the family's voice, and we always get to respond to calls, and you don't always hear the person taking the 911 call unless you have dispatch experience. So everyone in this room got to hear from different approaches from different family members on the severity of it in their voice, and just the roads blocked and couldn't get to that loved one. So we were experiencing things that you don't necessarily normally have to do, but like I said, in a small town, everyone has that cell phone number, so they can reach out to the key decision makers. Hey, I need help now. And I'm very proud of our response team. And like I said, we had several decision makers that I depended on here that had to get up and go help too. And a lot of times is you want to drop what you're doing in this room to go out as well, but we had a whole county to take care of. But we did devote a lot of resources to that family, and we got an emergency service escort to the hospital in Martin to get that family member taken care of, just because it took so long to get. This one was a little bit different. It was kind of, all right, let's take that and times two. Yes, you may go into a closet, centrally located in your house without door, away from windows. But where can you go to get in someone's basement? Where can you go to get to the nearest tornado shelter? This is not a normal thing for us. We're outside of tornado season. severe weather season. So we're not really maybe thinking about those things as we should, but let's take this times 2, times 3, and really focus on just, if you don't have a basement or you don't have a tornado shelter, go somewhere that does. Like, put that plan together now. Um, put more supplies together than that you would normally would. Have multiple locations of those supplies in case your house gets damaged, but really to evacuate your house and go somewhere safer than your normal structure. So we're going to do a tornado shelter list for us to be more proactive and organized, because we kept posting it on social media when this was over. Make sure everyone's accounted for, because we had to do the damage assessment and we were searching properties. We didn't know if they had tornado shelters or not. So now we're kind of doing that approach, and now they're reaching out to us. We want you to come to our house. We want you to give us advice on, do you think this is a safe room, or this is our tornado shelter. We want you to be able to respond to our property and go directly to where we're going to be. I think the initial phase of our planning and outreach was very receptive, and then the let's take it to the next level for the future after the fact has been very, very receptive in our community, very proactive.